fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions. Fact, don't ask, grab reactions. Jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused. Call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. And now, before we do begin, we will be going over a little bit of a time skip. That's right, another one. Deku will not stay 15 in this series. Or, well, really the entire story. Now, we will cut up to, let's say roughly around a year and a half later. Midoriya is still training on Earth. And in fact, his parents are still out in the universe, wiping out what remains of the Saiyan resistance, making sure to crush it so it cannot rebuild. Now, within this amount of time, Midoriya himself has actually been pushing himself and training more. Along with Vados' assistance, his power levels begin to grow rapidly, along with Mina actually beginning to catch up. She herself was not very strong, however quickly adapting to Vados' training, and with her abilities to use magic, you could say that she can greatly keep up. Now, along with that, we will pick up... Actually, I believe I should do this for an explanation before I just jump right into it. Deku and everyone do not have money. So, after Deku talked with Bakugo, roughly about 2 to 3 months later, there was the Tenkaichi tournament, or the Budokai. I don't remember how it's pronounced, the Budokai Tenkaichi tournaments? I think that's right. Anyways, now, Midoriya knew that you could gain a whole lot of money by winning one of those tournaments. In fact, those tournaments are now seen as a way to show off technically advanced humans, or the cyborgs and androids. Now, with that being said, Midoriya actually decided to join. Whenever people asked him for a list of his augmentations, he gave them none, simply just stating that he does not have any. People quite surprised. So the warrior who defeated the Saiyan was unaugmented. Them clearly wanting to inspect Midoriya. Now, after they inspect Midoriya, send him to an X-ray machine, and test metal detectors on him, they find that he is telling the truth. And he is allowed entry after signing a waiver. Now, with all of that, the tournament quickly began. And it quickly ended. Everyone on live TV watching as the human warrior, I put that in air quotes, that defended their planet, completely dominates the tournament. He ends it in one punch, man. I'll just go. I'll take my leave. Alright. I'm actually quite glad I did pause that. I started coughing. Anyways, now. Midoriya, the entire tournament, like I'm being serious, the entire tournament was planned out to be the entire day. They were going to start from 7 in the morning and then end around 7 o'clock at night. In fact, they were actually going to break for an intermission around noon for lunch, so that the fighters can eat and actually rest up a little bit. Now, that plan was thrown out the window. The tournament was finished in roughly, I want to say 3 hours. By the time it was 10 o'clock in the morning, the finals were already happening. And Midoriya, whenever he was thrown up against the last year's champion, the man was quick to try and attack Midoriya. As soon as he did throw out his hand and try and smash Midoriya directly in the guts, Midoriya didn't even bother defending it. It immediately hitting Midoriya and his arm shattering upon impact. Midoriya not even budging a single inch, as the man just looks down at his hand quite confused, looking up and seeing that Midoriya disappears. Before Midoriya is behind the man and he's holding up quite simply a few bolts. Now, the rest of the guy's mechanical arm falls off, along with the guy actually falling over forwards. Everyone was surprised as more people are trying to analyze Midoriya's movements. Now, Midoriya is awarded the prize money and crowned the champion, as he actually does walk out and meet Momo and Mina. Both of them confused as to why he even participated. Oh, because I win, him holding up a very large briefcase. This stuff. A fancy case? Oh no, it's what's inside. It's money. Basically, you trade it in order to buy candies, foods, and other stuff. Oh. I still have no idea what that means. Now, after this is all said and done, multiple different people do actually try and swarm Midoriya. They don't try and jump him, but they do want a bit more information. Now, multiple places begin to offer up different things to Midoriya. They all do work underneath the same banner. And certain doctors, who were part of certain companies, do want to make the advancements first. Now, they all begin to offer Midoriya different amounts of money just to simply study his biology and the way he moves and fights. Now, they do go on saying that they did invent a few things off of his last fights. And, in fact, the new data that they have gathered is quite simply not even enough. Now, Midoriya, he actually does ask a bit more questions. After understanding that they're not going to do anything nefarious, he simply hands the briefcase over to Momo and walks over into a large open field. Before Midoriya, he simply just starts to take flight. Now, Midoriya goes high and high up into the air, and many different people actually begin to study Midoriya by zooming in and beginning analysis. Now, Midoriya, then, he simply just turns on the Kaioken, his power level jumping from a current 15 billion to 30 billion. Many different people surprised by that. Already, Midoriya is creating a change in atmospheric pressure, and the wind is actually beginning to move around him. And Midoriya just keeps going up. This time, he jumps to times 2, 45 billion, times 3, 60 billion, times 4, 75 billion. Now, with all of that, Midoriya does actually jump up to times 10, at 150 billion. Now, everyone on the ground is currently feeling the air pressure Midoriya is emitting. Meanwhile, the cameraman, he actually did begin to roll the camera once again. They were supposed to cover the entire tournament, so they did actually have to turn them off. However, they were still live broadcasting. And all of a sudden, on many different TVs, the please stand by setting basically on their TVs did turn back over to live coverage. Now, Midoriya jumps up to times 20, 300 billion times 30, you know the rest. Now, everyone does watch Midoriya's high power level just keep rising, before Midoriya actually does stop, and come back down to the ground. Him apologizing for going a bit too far. Now, many different companies, they do actually thank Midoriya, along with some of them being frightened at this boy's power. Now, along with that, later on into the week, Midoriya, after he did buy a few things, he actually does have a bank account created. And anonymously, a large sum of money is donated into it. Now, with all that being said, more augmentations and creations will be coming out, along with integrating Saiyan technology and the Namekian spaceship technology into their tech. Now, with all of that, we will cut to the next year. Or, crap, no, that was Midoriya's current power level. Well, that's what happens at the next Tenkaichi, but for the first one, they studied him and basically got, what, 40 billion? And that would be about it. So, not that much. Anyway, guys, now, of the next one they did study Midoriya at, those are the readings they found him at. Now, Midoriya, he is currently just laying down at inside of his house. A very large place. It is quite simple. The place is huge, and he actually does own quite a lot of the property all around. So, for physically training, they don't have to worry about it. However, if they are going to go spar, he would prefer that they do it in the hyperbolic time chamber. Now, with that being said, somebody does actually knock on Midoriya's door today. Midoriya at the current age of 16 and a half. Now, as he does actually open the door, somebody does actually introduce themselves, saying that they are with the Earth Defense Force. Is he Izuku Midoriya? Huh? Oh, yeah. Why? Well, now, we would like you to come with us. Okay. Did I do something wrong? No. But we would like to conduct further tests upon your strange power. I kinda can't at the moment. I'm very busy. Now, as Midoriya says that he actually has to go to close his door. The person, quite simply, grabbing Midoriya's door and saying that this is quite urgent. Now, Midoriya does turn back around and ask exactly why is it urgent? Because it's classified information. If we were to tell you, you would not believe us. Most likely you would think that we are crazy. Fine. No. Midoriya does follow them outside. And actually, he takes off into flight as he follows them back into the city. Now, Midoriya then walks into a large building. Quite strange, quite odd. So where exactly are we? That information is classified. Now, after she says that, Midoriya does actually listen to what she's saying. Them going down an elevator roughly around what seems to be 200 floors, before they do wind up underground, in a secret base. Now, after that is all said and done, they do instruct Midoriya that they want him to fight against one of their current projects. Okay. Now, with that, they do actually introduce it. It looks human. Them saying that this is quite simply Prototype 872, and that he will be fighting Midoriya today. Oh, okay. Now, they are taken to a large training room. And that is whenever Midoriya actually does get a closer look at this android, or whatever it's called. It does seem to be a bit more serious looking. And the way its arms are, it's strange. Now, Midoriya, he then actually does at least watch the android blast off against him. It trying to come straight for Midoriya as he dodges as it threw out a kick. As it then did begin to try and at least follow Midoriya's movements. Midoriya dodging and weaving against it, as it quite simply just kept trying to attack him. Attacking where he was and not where he is going. Now, after that is all said and done, the android actually does retaliate by screaming that he should attack him. This is a fight after all. Midoriya quickly replying, bringing up his fingers and using instant transmission, disappearing from the air as he appears right in front of the man, punching him directly upwards into the gut, and apparently knocking the wind out of this android. Before he does go to throw out a punch, Midoriya grabbing out of the air as the man begins to try and use thrusters to increase his power. Now, surprisingly, it does not work. And he is quite simply ineffective. Now, Midoriya and him do go back and forth, and they do get more research data about Izuku. And Midoriya eventually does take down this android, as it is thrown out across the floor, and at least still in one piece. Now, after it is said and done, he is told that the android, it has been defeated. Okay, but quick question. Him turning around and asking if that thing is human. No, not anymore. Okay, Edgelord. Now, Midoriya just brings up his hand and puts two fingers to his head. Then watching him disappear once again, trying to scan the area for his presence within the base. Before someone does actually inform the person in charge that they did locate the target. He's back at his house. Now, Midoriya, he then just goes back to what he was doing, laying back on the floor as he actually does look out the window into the backyard, as you do have Mina training along with, let's see, Momo. Now, Midoriya is thinking about more things. Exactly what can happen whenever he does get strong enough. He's supposed to be God of Destruction. Yeah. But this life is a bit easier. Midoriya yawning and wanting to go take a nap. Meanwhile, we do have something else currently going on. As Midoriya closes his eyes, he finds peace. Meanwhile, somewhere in hell, there is a problem. Malice, evil, and hatred, all swarmed into one place. It's all put into one despicable and vile creature. That creature wanting to do nothing more than create chaos. Feed on it and get stronger. Taste rage. Taste blood. And it will. as it escapes hell and upsets the natural balance of the worlds. Now, with all that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.